Right, that's the second head off now. Much the same as the other side, except that I think the head gasket on this one, as you can see, maybe a bit of blow in there, but a lot better. A lot better. The bores, I think, to be honest, they're possibly bored. I'm no expert, but some people have said if you can get your nail in it and there's a lot of scratches, you know, you should do something about it. Or one guy said if it's wider and deeper than a paperclip, which is a massive, and they're nowhere near that. There's a couple of scores on one of them that you can you can't get your nail in, but you can kind of feel it, but they're not all the way up the bore. They're kind of, one's halfway up and then one's just at the top where the ring doesn't come up to. So I think I'm not buying another engine just for the sake of a couple of scores in the block. I've ran plenty of old engines with a lot worse, and I think the one that's got the more sort of couple of scores in, that was the one that was compression was 175. These two, I think that one and that one were 200. Those two were 150ish, I think, and then that one that you can see has got a bit of score in, and I think it was this one. They're both about the same. I mean, you can see it's marked, but it kind of looks a lot worse than it is. You kind of feel it, and you can't get your nail in it, you can't feel it. So I'm thinking I'm just going to clean up the pistons, put new rings in it, and see what happens. I mean, I think it ain't bad enough to give me bad compression, those scores. What you might get is a bit of oil seep down when it's stood, so when you start up you'll get a bit of chuff, but to be honest you're probably going to get that anyway. So yeah, I think it's assuming I clean all the block up when I get the sump off and check and there's no cracks in the block. Doesn't look to be any cracks down the liners or around the head, but I've got to clean that up yet. This side that was better, you can see pistons look a lot more, I mean there's not much carbon to be honest, so whereas this side, those two middle ones, more carbon on. I took both the cam carriers off and I've left the followers in where they were, which I will do. I'll keep them in the right order. I'm going to clean off them surfaces and clean up the cam covers or cam carriers, but I've been told you're meant to keep the followers. Makes sense, followers with each cam that it's running off, because it's happier like that. I've had the other head sort of in my parts washer just to get a rough idea what the valves are doing, and that's been in all day and it's not really gone down noticeably at all. Yeah, that one might have done a little bit, but to be fair, that's how I normally test my air cord heads. I normally find if there's any kind of major leak, if it's not there in the morning, then you've got an issue, and that one was, and this one been here all day and I think it's fine. So I'm going to have the heads checked and everything anyway. So I think the next thing is to I think probably take the sump off and have a look at the block from sort of underneath, make sure I can't see any cracks or anything daft going on with the bottom of the skirts or bottom of the liners or anything like that. Clean up this surfaces a bit better, make sure I can't see any cracks around the edge where the water jacket, apparently they can crack here, and then that allows water into the cam carriers. I don't quite understand, but I'm going to give it all a good clean up anyway. and take the sump off. Probably take the oil pump off as well. I'm not going to change that. The oil pressure was, when you started it up, it was bang straight up to 5. I don't know what it did when it was hot because I couldn't get it hot, but it's not the end of the world if I have to change that later. Probably going to rebuild get a rebuild kit for that tensioner. But as far as I'm aware, it should have bleed nipples in there. But maybe you just fill it up with oil. I think it has to be filled up with specific oil. And obviously all new cam bolt kit, new water pump as well. The water pump sound. Sounds a little bit rough. They always do when there's no water in, but it's daft not to. Oh, there is a number on the block there. Oh, right, I was thinking there's no number on the block. To S101. Yeah. I'll have to check out what that is, because like I say, the point where it's normally stamped there, I think there's another point I noticed where that was now. There's another bit flat somewhere. Yeah. So I'll check that out, what that says, but like I say, it's not stamped in the normal place, but that doesn't really mean anything necessarily. Right, so I'll do another video when I get the sump off and I've cleaned the block up a bit better. It's a shame you can't hone the bores, but I think it's a specialist job, and I don't know anybody local who can do it, so I think it'll be fine. I think put new rings in and we'll be away. Right, that's it. I'll see you next time.